everyone, and welcome to our Revuto deep dive. We've realized that we never did an actual deep dive where we go through all of the details of what Revuto is from a business, technical, team standpoint. So we wanted to give you an overview of what we've done in 2021 and what do we have in store for next year. So the three of us co-founders will be giving each an overview of what are we doing, what have we done so far, and what do we have planned for the future. And we hope you'll enjoy the session. So what is Revuto? I'm sure all of you already know what Revuto is, but just to explain it once again. So we call Revuto an active subscription management solution. And what does that mean? That means you get to unbundle your subscriptions and you get to manage seasonality in a sleek and intuitive way. The way how we do that is by issuing virtual debit cards, one per each subscription that you have. And you get a simple notification saying, for example, Netflix wants to charge you this month, and you get to block, snooze, or approve. By blocking, you simply skip the payment for this month. You don't get to unsubscribe, so you keep all of your profiles and preferences, but you simply don't get to enjoy the service, so it's suspended for the coming month. If you click approve, what we do in the back end is that we top up your Netflix virtual debit card with the exact amount in the exact time that is needed, and you get to enjoy the service casually, and it's completely fine. If you decide to snooze, then what happens is you get to postpone that decision for a couple of hours or days, depending what you insert manually. So it's all very simple and intuitive. And the reason why we wanted to do this is because we realize that there's really no financial hygiene in putting your own primary card to any merchant that is out there. So as we all know, subscription services are on the rise. At Revuto, we often quote the saying, or by the analysis of TechCrunch, that subscription services grow 100% year over year. So they're really everywhere. And if you leave your card with every single one of these merchants, you don't really know what are you subscribed to. Is it a personal, is it a professional service? Which email did you use? And by using Revuto, we simplify all of that, and you get to keep all of your information and cards in one single app. So that's the primary purpose of Revuto. And now the reason why is it so relevant today. So again, one of the sayings that we often talk about internally is that when the subscription model was first announced, back when Steve Jobs first introduced the iPod, is, you get to have thousands of songs for only $5 or $10, and it was this amazing consumer promise. But what's happening today is if you want to enjoy in all of the current, whether it's films or movies, whether it's music, whether it's any kind of digital content, is that you don't get to use only one service. It's actually a range of services. And you don't use them all the time. So the seasonality is really emphasized more than ever. And in order to bring the pendulum back and to bring the control back into the hands of consumers, we decided to build a solution that is simple and intuitive, but also secure and robust in the back end. So what is the Revuto origin story? We have to say that all of the credits for the original idea actually go to our CEO, Vedran. And it goes back to him having a meeting with our CTO, Marko, back when Marko was working at Intuit. And the two of them met and discussed on what are different approaches that they can use to solve this particular problem. And they had various brainstorming sessions over beer and probably some local food. And they actually decided that they can build this thing. After that, Vedran returned to Zagreb, Croatia. He called me to join the team, and then both of us later on recruited Marko to join us full-time. So the main credits for the idea actually go to Vedran, our CEO, and then he invited Marko and myself to join him full-time. And now a bit about our metrics. So as you know by now, we had an extraordinary growth period. We also got a recent award for the fastest growing consumer solution in this space. But just to give more context to it, in the first 4 months of our service being available, we grew faster than all of the leading neobanks and DeFi providers combined. So to give you an example, Revuto reached 300K users faster than Revolut, Monzo, Sterling Bank, and Celsius combined. What that means is that this service is widely recognized by not only our customer base, but also consumers as a collective. We also have a wait list, early signups, that it has 3 million users. And we're currently trying to manage both the load and also the user experience. And we're slowly releasing and letting people do the KYC from this waitlist and in order to join our active users. So it's a very exciting period in terms of growth, and we expect even more exciting news in the years to come. And now we'll be joined by our co-founder and CEO Vedran, and he'll be giving you more context on Revuto.
Hi everybody. Thank you, Josipa, for such fluent English. Now it's my turn. I'm gonna ruin it as much as I can. My name is Vedran, I'm CEO of Revuto, and I'm gonna use this opportunity to actually, for the first time, to explain a bit more about Revuto and why it's so special, why we have so many early signups, and why we believe that nobody should actually in the future use anything else but Revuto to sign up and pay for its subscriptions. So a bit about the story, how we came up with the idea. So in the past, I was working on my previous startup, and I had a problem with how to manage cash flow. So for a startup founder, it's really important to actually manage the expenses and, try to save money as much as you can. And what I realized is that I was paying many subscriptions actually to run my business. And when I was adding those expenses, I realized that I was paying almost like $1,000 that I didn't even know that I was spending per month on those subscriptions, and actually on tools that I had to use to run my business. And those would usually be subscriptions for Gmail, for running my web page, for Shopify, then Stripe, Dropbox, MailChimp, and all other things that we all usually pay to run our business. And also, what I was doing at the time is, because I had like some money on this account, some money on that account, I was actually pre-authorizing all different debit or credit cards with those service providers. And with the time, I lost the track with which card I was paying what. Then I lost the track, how much I was paying and to whom I was paying as well. Later on, I was trying to actually also use those cards to pay for some other things. And what would usually happen is that I would put money on that card because I was planning to use that card for something. And then, I would figure out that, there was no money when I put money, there was no money anymore on that card or account. And that was mostly because some other subscription that I didn't pay on a due time actually took that money from my account. And that was really painful. Also, what I figured out is that I was pre-authorizing those cards with some like the free trials, and I forgot to unsubscribe on time. And then those services would actually take my money for something that I wouldn't use anymore. So in a nutshell, it was really difficult, for me to manage all those expenses, and I was in general losing a lot of money on these things. So I said, to my friend, to our CTO Marko, which I met while I was in San Francisco. He was working for the Intuit, and I said, Marko, do you have the same problem as I do? And he said, yes, I do. And then I asked several of other friends if they have the same problem, and we all agreed that that's a big pain for us, because as Josipa already told you, subscription business is growing very fast, like more than 100% year over year, and soon you're going to be actually buying everything on the subscriptions, and and that problem is just growing and growing and growing, and people are losing more and more money. I asked Marko, what do you think? What should we do? Is there something that we can do? Because Marko at the time was working for Intuit and he was working on Mint. which was actually and still is a service that is helping people to manage their expenses. But that was, like Marko had an idea how to solve the problem, and Mint was not solving the problem as we thought it should be solved. And also there were some other services at the time available on the market, like Truebill, which were also solving the problem in one way, which was not actively managing those expenses. Those services are just like the trackers, they can just like track what you're spending. And we actually talked and we decided to build a Revuto. And now I'm gonna just start with explaining with the 5 simple steps, or like the biggest points, why we built a Revuto and why the Revuto is so awesome, so good, and why it's gonna help you to save your money. So first of all, why we think the Revuto should be used instead of everything else. So people are usually pre-authorizing their own credit and debit cards with service providers. We think that's not the safe way, because you're giving your own personal cards and you're allowing service providers to take money from your personal debit or credit cards. And we think that there should be somebody in the middle to actually protect your money from those services to take the money when they please. Because when you pre-authorize your debit or credit cards, they can take money from those accounts as they please. Okay, sometimes that's like on the monthly basis, but actually if you pre-authorize on the free trial, for the free trial, you usually, and what is happening more and more is that they take money from your account for the whole year, not just for the next month. So we think that you should use Revuto because it's very safe. Okay, so why is it safe? Because you want to keep your personal details off the internet. Why should you give your personal account details to somebody else that you actually don't know? It may change the prices. It can put you in a really difficult situation if you don't know how to unsubscribe, where to unsubscribe, if the price changes or whatever, So you're not safe, you're not protected if you just pre-authorize your personal cards, because if you do that, again, they can take the money out of your account whenever they please. So that's the first thing. The second thing, source of funds. Okay. So only with Revuto you can easily control with what and how you're gonna pay for your subscriptions. So what is happening when you use Revuto? Revuto is gonna give you actually the is gonna issue you the virtual debit cards that you're gonna use instead of your personal credit or debit cards to pre-authorize with the service provider. And that means that you actually just give them your debit card number once, and then you can easily with Revuto switch how you're gonna actually pay those subscriptions. So if you have like multiple accounts or multiple cards that you wanna use to pay for those subscriptions, or even we're gonna talk about it later, you can switch, to pay those subscriptions with the crypto. You can easily do it with Revuto, but you don't have to actually go again and again in your account of your subscription and switch those cards. So you just we issue you a virtual debit card which you actually use with that service, and that's really easy to do. The second thing is control. That's actually the third thing. Control. Why the control? The control is very important. As I mentioned before, I was doing that, and people are usually doing that. They're using multiple or several their debit or credit cards to subscribe with the service providers, and they are losing track with what and how much they're paying for, and when, and to whom. So with Revuto, we can manage all of that. And we manage that with the 3 simple things, and we call it block, snooze, and approve. Okay, so why are those 3 things very important? Just try to imagine that you have like $10 left on your account, on your card, and you pre-authorize that card with, for instance, with the Netflix and Dropbox, and you're aware of that Dropbox due date is like 2 days prior to the due date of Netflix, and you know, then what usually would happen is that Dropbox gonna come first. It's first come, first serve. How they actually take money from your account. So if the due date of Dropbox is before of the Netflix, it's gonna take your last $10, and then you're not gonna have money left to actually pay for Netflix, which in case that Dropbox didn't take that money, you would have money to pay Netflix. But why is that important? Important is because sometimes what happens is that, and for instance, that's like with the Dropbox, you don't actually need to pay to Dropbox on a due date, because it's not gonna suspend, the Dropbox is not gonna suspend your service if you don't pay even for 30 days. But with the Netflix, it's quite opposite. So if you don't pay on a due date, they're gonna suspend your service next day, and you're not gonna be able to use it. And control is very important, because we wanna allow with Revuto to our users to actually manage their cash flow, or let's say it like to maximize their financial potential, giving the user an option to easily block, snooze, or approve every subscription payment when the due date comes. So, for instance, if the Netflix wants to charge you, the Revuto is gonna say, today is the due date, and Netflix wants to charge you $10. Do you want to block, snooze, or approve that payment? So, if you choose to block, so you are actually not gonna pay that amount for the next month. That actually doesn't mean that you are necessarily unsubscribed from that service. It just means that you're not gonna use that service for the next month. Just also mention that, so we are controlling only those like prepaid services that you actually pay now to use it later. So we are not breaching any terms of use with Revuto, of terms of use of those subscriptions. And this block feature is actually the awesome tool for helping you with the seasonality of those services that you're using. For instance, if you're gonna leave on a business trip for 1 month, or you're gonna go on a vacation for a few months, why would you be still paying to Netflix if you're subscribed for those 3 months, if you're not gonna use the Netflix or any other tool? It can be, for instance, you're like a freelancer and you're working on some kind of a project, and you're paying for some kind of tool, I don't know, to Adobe or whatever, and if that project is done and you next month or next few months you're not gonna be needing that tool, why would you be paying that service? So with block, you can easily block for each next month, and then if you again need the service, you just unblock it, and the service provider is gonna still trying to charge your card, but when it's gonna find the money on your card, you're gonna be again using that service. So that's a block, and this block is also awesome tool to actually unsubscribe from any service. Why is that important? Because many of those services, they're trying to hide on purpose the unsubscribe feature, and for some people it's really hard to actually unsubscribe. And what is even more important, they tend to let you subscribe very easily. Even the Netflix is also, again, a great example. You can sign up with Netflix with a smart TV or set-top box, but if you want to unsubscribe, you need to really go to their webpage and find find that unsubscribe feature. On some services, I was also having really difficult time to find, how to unsubscribe from everything. For instance, like GoDaddy is a great example, because every time, I unsubscribe from everything, and then, I figure out later on that I is still paying something because I didn't find, some feature to unsubscribe from all. Snooze. Snooze is actually a great tool to postpone the payment to services. Why is that really important? As I mentioned before, maybe you have just like a particular amount of money that you can spend that week, and you already know that some services is they're gonna suspend the service if you don't pay on a due date, and some of them, they're not gonna suspend your service if you're gonna be late with their payment. So what you can do, you can actually snooze some of those that you already know that they're not gonna suspend your service if you don't pay on a due date, and it's gonna help you to maximize your financial potential, because you're gonna use that amount of money to pay only to those that you really know you have to pay. What is also really great with the snooze, and Marko is gonna explain, our CTO is gonna explain you later, is we're gonna actually keep track of everything what people are snoozing and for how long they are snoozing, because later on we're gonna actually suggest you for how many days you can snooze a particular service without fear that they're gonna suspend that service to you. And that's really awesome tool to actually really to help you, to do more with your money. And approve, I think that's really easy to explain, because if you select to approve that payment, you're gonna actually pay for it, and you're gonna be able to use that service for the next billing cycle. So that's in short, what we are trying to do. By using these three simple options, you're gonna actually be able to save your money, because you're gonna be able to block, you're gonna actually be able to maximize that amount of money that you have, and by approving, you're gonna actually be able to decide, what you wanna pay. So, number 4, protection. Protection. This is actually the protection is maybe the most important thing. Maybe we covered before with all of this, but I'm gonna just try to emphasize why the protection is really important. Again, so if you are pre-authorizing your personal debit or credit cards with the service providers, you don't have any protection. They're gonna take your money from your account as they please. Of course, they have a terms of use and everything, but people usually don't pay attention on those small words or small lines. And sometimes, if you go on those unprotected sites, on sites that are really trying to scam you, then you can give them your card number, and sometimes you cannot even unsubscribe. So what you need to do is actually to go to your bank and say to them, or just terminate my card, or just try to actually block that merchant. But with Revuto, all those things are unnecessary, because you're gonna be protected all the time. But most important thing about the protection is protection against free trials. So I believe that we all been in that situation. We actually opted for a free trial, and we said, I'm gonna try this. It's a 7 days free trial, 1 month free trial, and I'm gonna unsubscribe, and I'm gonna be just fine. But what usually happens is that we forget. So we sign up for a free trial, we give them our card number, and then we forget about that free trial. We forget to unsubscribe on time, or usually it's again really difficult to unsubscribe, and we try and we say, I'm gonna try it another day, or I'm gonna just ask somebody, how to unsubscribe, because I'm not able to do it by myself. And then the free trial ends and they actually start to charge you. Usually they charge you for the next month, but sometimes and more often what is happening is that they charge you for the whole next year. With the Revuto, and I'm going to say only with Revuto, actually you're going to be protected from any free trial, because you're going to actually not give them your personal card numbers. We're going to issue you a virtual debit card, which you're going to use to sign up for a free trial. And then even if you forget about it and you don't react or anything, they're not going to be able to steal your money. That's really important. And now, number 5, saving. That's like a whole new topic. Saving money. Saving money. When we are talking about saving money with Revuto, I'm gonna wipe all of this. We're gonna switch to talking about crypto. Okay, crypto. Revuto and crypto. So why actually crypto? First of all, Revuto is a payment service. So we are controlling and managing those payments. Crypto is a digital asset that is more and more used for paying goods and services. Not just on the internet, but in general in the world. And we believe that crypto is the future of payment. But why crypto is such important thing for Revuto? First of all, with crypto, we are incentivizing the setup to actually give back money to our users. And what that means? So, cashback. So our users are going to actually be getting cashback for every transaction they make with the Revuto. So you remember that block Snooze and Approve? Every time you select the approve, with Revuto you're going to pay something and we're going to give you cashback or a reward in REVU. In REVU. REVU. REVU is our cryptocurrency. It's a short for a REVU token. So when you approve the payment, we're going to give you cashback in REVU token, and that cashback is going to be 4%. 4%, that may seem not huge amount at the moment. But for instance, again, if you're going to pay with Revuto your Netflix, you're going to pay $10 and you're going to get like 40 cents in REVU back to your account in your app, to your crypto wallet. 40 cents in REVU token, now that's like 4 REVU tokens. But what is happening with the crypto? Crypto is set up, the tokenomics is set up in a way that it has a limited supply of tokens, and if the buying pressure is bigger on those tokens, then the price of that token goes up. What that means? So if we're gonna bring more users to Revuto, and I'm gonna explain later on what else you can do with the REVU tokens, and you can do some amazing things, then we can expect for that price of the REVU token to go up. So this 4% or 40 cents in this case can easily transfer to 10 times more, and it can be $4. And that, so for that's like 10x. And we already know that prices of cryptocurrencies can easily go 10x up. So that means that you're not going to actually be paying for your with Revuto for your Netflix $10, but at the end you're gonna pay $6 because you're gonna save $4 by getting the cashback and by getting the $4 back. And that is really amazing mechanism actually to save money on your subscriptions. And I can assure you that this is gonna happen. Maybe it's not gonna be $4, maybe it's gonna be $2, but with the time, maybe this is gonna be actually, you're gonna be actually getting more than you paid at the first place. So this is really amazing what you can do with the crypto. I'm gonna now explain not just how you can save money, but earn money by using Revuto to pay your subscriptions. So we have a great referral system, which is awarding users. What that actually means. So by using our referral system, our users can refer Revuto to their friends. So every user has a referral link. It can share it to other user, and user can sign up with Revuto and use Revuto also to do all those amazing things as everybody else. But what that means for the user who referred the friend. So if that friend sign ups with Revuto, goes to the KYC and actually use Revuto to pay to cover his subscription services, the user who referred the friend is gonna actually be getting passive income from that. Passive income. I'm gonna try to explain that because I don't think that people really noticed before what we are trying to do with the referral system that we have. Also, yeah, we have that referral system that is actually awarding every user with a one-time reward of 10 REVU tokens. Now, before it was 10, now it's 5 for referring the friend. But passive income that's what is really important. So, passive income, what that means. So, if referred friend is going to use Revuto to pay for his subscriptions, he's actually going to get a cashback of 4%. So referred friend pays 10 to Netflix. Cashback is 4%, that's like 40 cents. And from the cashback, this user who referred the friend, he's gonna get 6% from cashback. From every cashback. 6% from those 40 cents, but for every payment that the user makes and for the lifetime. So you can actually easily calculate how much money are you going to be getting with Revuto by referring your friends and by telling them to use Revuto to pay for their subscriptions, because on average we already know that people are paying at least 3 subscriptions per month, and those subscriptions, they're on average 10 to 15 euros. So if somebody is gonna pay 3 subscriptions, that's like the cashback is gonna be $1.20, and the user is gonna get actually 6% of those like $1.20 every month. And if somebody is gonna add some more subscriptions to Revuto, this actually amount is gonna just rise. And again, if the price of a REVU goes up, then the cashback total amount is gonna also go up. And this could be really an awesome way how to earn from Revuto and get money back. So the third thing, how you can actually earn money by using Revuto is staking REVU. So I already told you that people are gonna be actually getting REVU tokens by using Revuto, not only by referring their friends, but just also by getting rewards as a cashback in REVU tokens. And later, what can they do with those REVU tokens? Obviously, you can also, like, people are going to be able to buy additional REVU tokens on exchanges, possibly later on and within our app as well. But by staking REVU tokens, you can additionally earn money, REVU tokens. So there are several staking options. First staking option is stake REVU to get 10% APR. So stake REVU to get 10% of APR. That means if you're gonna stake 100 REVU for 1 year, you're gonna get 110 REVU. Now, this may not seem like it's a lot, but again, if the buying pressure is gonna grow on REVU tokens, and it will, because with the bigger user base, people are gonna use REVU tokens to do so many amazing things with it. And also, if they opt to actually cover their subscription charges with the REVU, they're gonna need to either buy REVU tokens or have REVU tokens. So the price of a REVU token with the time should go up. And this could be a great way of earning additional REVU and money just simply by staking REVU. Also what that means, so anybody can actually stake and unstake their REVU tokens as they please. There is no like lockup period or something like that. So if somebody wants to stake REVU tokens for 6 months or 12 months, it can easily do it. And whenever somebody decides to use those REVU tokens, again, just like unstake them. So next thing is stake REVU to get EURR. Okay, stake REVU to get EURR. That's like a stable coin. Why is that important? Because for instance, 100 REVU, you're gonna stake, you're gonna get actually 50% of that in stablecoin. 100 REVU now is like 10 euros, you're gonna get 5 euros out. So why is this important? So if somebody has only REVU tokens and nothing else, but still he wants to pay for his subscriptions, he doesn't have to necessarily spend those REVU tokens. He can stake them and actually get euros out, and he can spend those stable coins to cover those subscription expenses. And with time, we can again assume that the price of REVU tokens is gonna go up. And once somebody decides to unlock those REVU tokens, he just needs to actually pay back those stable coins with some small interest, and those REVU tokens are going to be unlocked. In the case that the price of REVU tokens goes, why we give just like a 50% out? Because the price of REVU tokens is going to be volatile. It's going to go up and down, and if the price drops for more than 50%, then this collateral, these REVU tokens are going to be sold automatically, and still the user is going to be left with those stable coins, but it's not going to have any more REVU tokens. So that's B. C, this one is much better. Combo staking This is actually something new, and I don't think that other projects have the possibility of the combo staking. What that means? So Revuto is gonna have its own staking pool on Cardano. So staking pool, which is actually producing the same yield as any other staking pool on Cardano. Let's say it's on average 5%. But what we actually want to do and allow other users to do is to actually unstake on our or undelegate their ADA Cardano token from other pools and allow them to stake those ADA in our pool, and for some particular amount of ADA, if they stake, and we're gonna decide which amount is that gonna be, like the minimum amount that they need to stake. If they stake above of that minimum amount, we're gonna allow them also to stake REVU tokens. Stake REVU to get 12% APR. So if some user is staking his ADA somewhere else, he can actually decide, hey, I'm gonna try to get more out of staking my ADA. So I'm gonna go to Revuto and stake 50% of my ADA in ADA staking pool for 5% yield, and the rest of ADA transfer to REVU tokens and stake those REVU tokens for 12% of APR. This setup is actually help people to gain more with their staking, because they can assume again that the price of a REVU token is gonna rise much faster than price of ADA, and again, by getting more yield, 12% compared to 5, they're gonna earn even more. So this great setup for those people who are actually just staking their ADA to other staking pools. Okay, number 4, staking pools. We have some amazing setups to put your REVU tokens in staking pool. The first staking pool is staking pool for micro lending. So what we're gonna allow with Revuto is actually we're gonna allow people to put their REVU tokens to work for them. So by putting them or staking them in micro lending staking pool, they're gonna put money there and allow other users to borrow money from those staking pools, even when they don't have money to pay for their subscriptions. This is really another topic, an amazing topic that our CTO is going to talk about. Marko is going to explain you how this setup is going to work. And the other staking pool is for our fund. As you already know, we have $2 million our fund, which is dedicated to funding pre-ICO projects on Cardano. Josipa is going to talk about it a bit later, but that means that Revuto is giving $1 million, and the users are going to be able to put additional $1 million in that pool to earn between 10 and 30% of APR, depending on how successful this R fund is gonna be. So even if we're gonna, invest and lose money, we're gonna still secure this at least 10%. And we're gonna explain later how we're gonna, track the success of our fund, and we're gonna be very transparent about it and in which projects are gonna be investing So yeah, this is about our fund. For the micro lending, Marko is gonna explain that, but this micro lending is actually, and I forgot to tell you about it, is actually the best way how to stake your REVU tokens. Because again, you're gonna be staking REVU to get stablecoin, and then by letting others to actually borrow that stablecoin to cover their expenses, you're gonna be getting monthly yield, and monthly yield is gonna be 4%. It's gonna be around 4%. This is not something that's fixed, but this is something that we aiming to do, and this is actually monthly. So monthly. This setup is sustainable. Why? Because those who are gonna be borrowing stablecoin from that pool to cover their subscription expenses, they're gonna be paying 6% of monthly yield. What that means is if somebody doesn't have this pool, is gonna actually help also other people to maximize their financial potential, because sometimes what happens is that due date is next day, but your paycheck, for instance, due date for Netflix is next day, but your paycheck is coming like 5 days after. You can borrow money for 6%. So if the Netflix is $10, you're gonna actually need to pay $1.60 back. So we think that the 60 cents is not something that is gonna be really painful for somebody to give back, and we're gonna actually, from that fee, we're gonna be paying off those guys who are gonna put their money for others, stake their money, and and this setup is really something that is really amazing, because again, it's sustainable. It's something that we can easily do, provide with this liquidity to other users. In a traditional financial setup, this is really difficult to do, but with the crypto, it's really easy to do, and anybody in the world who wants to provide the liquidity to those people in Revuto can do it easily in seconds, and those guys are going to be getting a really awesome yield. But again, Marko is going to explain how we plan to do that, and how we're going to decide who is going to be eligible to actually borrow money from that pool. Also, that pool is going to have a cap, so we're going to try to keep this 4% something that's going to be sustainable. So yeah, and how if the user base is going to grow, that pool is going to also grow. But again, we're going to try to keep this sustainable and allow people to get 4% monthly. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. This is just like the explanation how people can actually earn money. There's one more thing. 5, I almost forgot that. That's also like one amazing thing. Stake REVU and forget about your subscriptions. So what that means? So of course you're not gonna forget about your subscriptions, but we're gonna actually count how much REVU you need to stake to actually, with the yield to cover all those subscriptions that you set up with the Revuto for a whole year. That means, if you have some amount of REVU tokens, you're gonna be able to stake them, count that the price of those REVU tokens are gonna go up, but still by getting yield, you're gonna actually be covering all those subscription charges. And this is also an awesome setup, how you can save money on your subscriptions. So I believe that I covered everything. If I didn't, I apologize. But now I'm gonna also ask Marko to explain a bit more about microlending, and in general also about the AI that we're gonna artificial intelligence that we're gonna use inside of Revuto to do some amazing things with it, because our CTO is AI expert. He was working for Intuit more than 25 years, 27 years, something like that. How much?
20 years.
20 years, but you have 27 patents. Yeah, 27 patents. He's gonna explain a bit more about that, and yeah, that's it.
Hi, my name is Marko. I am Revuto CTO, and today I'm going to tell you how we know what Vedran and Josipa talked about is technically possible. I have a pretty far-reaching background in fintech. I've worked for more than 20 years in various fintech companies, most of this in Intuit, which is the world's largest fintech company. And as part of my engineering work at Intuit, I managed to obtain 27 fintech patents, and most of those actually very related and applicable to my Revuto work. How convenient, huh? So let me show you the standard setup for paying subscriptions. So you've got your bank or the credit card issuer, and you've got the merchant. So merchant, think your subscription, Netflix and so on. Normally you give your personal credit or debit card number to merchant. Merchant's job is to request monthly payments from your bank or credit card issuer, and the bank's job and primary interest is to actually pay the required amount. You, as the merchant customer, you've got control over your bank account, of course. But what is your control? You log in, you take a look at what your balance is. You can't really stop that one payment. In order to control your subscription, you don't go here. You control your subscription here. So here is where you have control of your subscription. You log on to your merchant's account. You tell them, hey, I want to stop payments for this month. And most likely there is no option to stop payments for that month. It's cancel subscription. They're going to make it hard for you to cancel. If you even found easily how to cancel, it won't be for a month only, or it won't be this one time. Ultimately, what we realized, what we can do, and it's not easy, but we actually can, is we are taking this bank out of the equation. What we do is we forged a couple of strategic partnerships with e-banking providers. So connected to the e-banking provider is the Revuto backend. Revuto backend is where our secret sauce is. Tied to the Revuto backend, of course, is the mobile app. So this is the standard Revuto mobile app that you download from Google Play or Apple Store. So what happens is, using the mobile app, you control our backend. Now, what we do is we take the control away from merchant. And your control actually is over here. You see it through your mobile app, but in fact, the control is here in our secret sauce, how we call it. So what is going on here? The e-banking partner will issue your virtual debit card. So the merchant now talks to your e-banking provider. Still the same credit card number that you used here, you can use it to fund your virtual debit card. But that's not the only funding source. Vedran has already mentioned a couple of other funding sources. So what happens is we now, based on our partnerships, we have the capability of controlling your funds here. So you tell us, this month I want to pay or I want to snooze. Let me pay a couple of days later because I might only get my paycheck on the next Friday. And ultimately, we can choose how your account is funded. So, because this is a real account with an IBAN number and you get your virtual debit card, the merchant doesn't care. The merchant needs to be paid. The merchant will be paid, but this time the control is on you. So the funding can go through regularly your personal debit or credit card. The funding can go through a microloan given to you by other users of a Revuto system. The funding can be maybe from your personal bank account. Now it's all in your control. So using the mobile app, you can say, this month I am funding my merchant or I am not. And now one more trick. What we have, what normally others don't, is through our e-banking partner, we get back all the feedback. On your activity, on your merchant, all merchant activities, and on those same activities for all other users of the system. Now you may already start counting, hey, these guys, if they only have a third of the signed up customers, which would be 1 million customers, and if it's not 3 but only 2 annual or monthly subscriptions, it means we have access to 2 million data points, 2 million transactions monthly. That is the basis of any artificial intelligence. All machine learning algorithms require a lot of data, and we are going to have it. Not only that, merchants have a tendency, if they see you don't have funds on your account, they have a tendency to try again in a couple of hours and in a couple of hours again. So what we do is we follow the patterns of each merchant. We know what subscription you have. How do we know? Well, because first of all, you told us this particular virtual debit card that Revuto is issuing for me, I'm going to use it for Netflix. This other one, I might use it for my paid Gmail account, and so on. So we follow the merchant patterns, how merchants like to charge their customers. We have feedback for every transaction that you make. We store it all in our database. We build a large database. And this database is the basis of several other things that we can do. First of all, Vedran has already told you, we will be capable of issuing microloans to our customers. How do I know this would work? Well, I happen to have a peer-reviewed scientific paper which specifies exactly how this is done based on your own patterns of spending. And we will have your own patterns of spending because you would need to be our customer for a certain period of time. We can say, this is likely to be a successful microloan, or this is likely to be maybe less successful microloan. Given the track record of, let's say, 6, 7, 8 months of outcomes of those loans, and remember, the microloan by its very definition is small and very short term. as opposed to getting your, for example, a loan to buy your car, which you pay off through the next 5 or 6 years, or the mortgage for your house, which you pay over 30 years. Our microloans, they are paid within a couple of days, a month at most. And you guess what? It means that we have loan outcomes, verified loan outcomes, in super short amounts of time, meaning our machine learning system can actually learn super fast. We don't have to wait for loan outcomes to happen after 6 months, 6 years, 30 years. No, we get them in a matter of days. That's how we know we can be successful in predicting microloan outcomes. Of course, no one is going to get the microloan just by showing up at our application. However, there are other options, of course. Staking pools. Go back and listen to what Vedran told you.
Marko, don't be so modest and tell what you did before, with your algorithms.
Together with my research team at Intuit, we formulated several key algorithms that actually power billions of dollars that company is making. And no joke there, billions of dollars. We were the first in the world to come up with an algorithm that gives you your credit score based only on your credit or debit card transactions. In fact, that particular score beat the standard scorecard score, which is manual, by 7%. Might not seem like a lot, but when you're talking about billions in loans, 7% already translates to dozens of millions. So we are pretty sure that this would work with Revuto as well. Now, one more important information here is all of the information that we keep in our database. It's safe and secure. And how do we know? Well, first of all, your personal information has no way of leaving our data center. It's locked in there. There is no path out. We don't allow it. Second, most of this information, we don't care what your first or last name is. We don't really care about your virtual debit card numbers, about your personal card numbers. They are all locked outside of Revuto. They are here. Card numbers, account numbers. All of this is in a bank vault. Think Fort Knox over there. Over here, we have aggregated information, which allows us to assess your credit worthiness. So, to summarize, we've got plenty of internal experience. We've got industry experience. We are 3 very successful people with track records. Therefore, try Revuto.
How do we know all of this is possible? Because we have Marko. Marko already explained you why this is going to work. But again, if Marko is going to be successful as we think he's going to be successful, then the interest for micro lending can be lower than 6%. If people are not going to be actually giving back those loans, then they're not going to be able to use any of those amazing things in Revuto. And there's so many, as you saw before, reasons why somebody is going to actually want to use Revuto to manage and pay for their subscriptions. So, but now I want to go back, sorry about this, and talk a bit more about crypto and why, in a way, you should bet on Revuto. If we can call this a bet, because you can see this is not a bet, this is a really sustainable business behind all of this. So, REVU. There are 280,125,000 REVU tokens in total. Why this 125,000? Because we didn't want to certain number, because this is a statement that we really thought about the tokenomics. So people usually put like a round number, 300 million, 400 million, 500 million, 100 million. So this is all well thought. So if you saw our tokenomics or the white paper, you could see that there is a definition about the total supply and how this total supply is going to be distributed. So from all of these tokens, 43% is for the project, 32% token holders or investors that purchased tokens in our token cell, and the rest is for funding team and advisors team. Those tokens are locked, forget about them. We're gonna keep them locked as much as we can to actually allow you to benefit from the fact that there is a limited supply, that the user base is gonna grow, and then there is gonna be more buying pressure on all of these tokens. So at the moment, from these 32% of the tokens, just like half of those tokens are released into circulating supply. Still, even those tokens, we're gonna help those guys to actually lock the value of their tokens in those some amazing staking opportunities. So the plan is actually to have as less as possible those tokens into free circulating supply, so that we can actually, that our users or token holders can benefit from the price going up. This 53% that stays for the project, those tokens are going to be used for product development, but more importantly, those tokens are going to be distributed through the referral program and cashback. And they're going to be also, when they're going to be in circulating supply, so the token holders are going to also have the opportunity to lock them up in those like amazing setups. 53% is going to be released through 4 years period, and that is when we plan to have the whole system, the whole setup fully decentralized. Also, what is important, that in this token cell, we actually didn't allow to have whales. So we had only one VC that invested, and the most that somebody could invest through the token cell was 100,000 euros in tier 2 token cell round. That means that there are no whales and nobody is gonna actually be able to sell a large amount of tokens if somebody wants to do that. And you know, in that way we are actually protecting all other token holders with not allowing actually somebody to dump the price of a token. What is also important to understand, so we said that initial price is actually euro. Why euro? Because we are from Europe, and at the moment the full functionality of the product is going to be open only for European citizens, because our banking and issuing provider is actually from Europe, and it's allowing only European citizens to get those virtual debit cards. But we are working now with other banking providers to actually bring this amazing service to other countries as well. So in the future you can expect to get more buying pressure on REVU tokens, because the whole world is going to be able to use Revuto to manage and pay for their subscriptions. With this setup, the initial market cap, this is also important to understand, of REVU tokens at the moment is $1,000,000 EURR. It's a pretty low market cap. So with this setup, we actually left the space, enough space for the Revuto token to grow and for market cap, fully diluted market cap, to actually grow as well. So compared to other projects, there is really a lot of space left for the price of the REVU token to rise. So if the price is going to go 10x, we're going to be at 280 million, and the price, if the REVU is going to go 100x, and this is not a meme coin, so the market cap could go 2.8 billion, which is still not very high. So with 1 billion, you're around like you're gonna end up being in top 100 on by market cap, but there is a plenty room for this token to go even above 100x, and we believe that that's really great opportunity for our investors and token holders in general. I'm not gonna name other projects on Cardano, but you not only on Cardano, but in general, but there are some on Cardano as well. So I believe that we have much better tokenomics and better opportunity to grow. And just to add a few more things, why REVU has great potential to grow. As Josipa already told you, we have 3 million early signups for our app. That means that 3 million people actually entered to our referral program and now are waiting to sign up with Revuto and to register with Revuto. We are gradually letting them to use Revuto. Even now, nobody can actually download the app and just go there and register with Revuto without at least having a referral link to do so, having a Revuto voucher, or being an investor. We are doing that because this is really truly amazing number, and all those people, they need to go through the KYC, not only for us to be sure that those are not the scammers, because a lot of people were trying to abuse our referral system and to get free REVU tokens. That's actually not possible because everybody needs to go through the KYC, but KYC is also mandatory, not only just because of the security reasons and for the compliance and everything, but because of our banking and card issuing partner, because they need the information about those people to be able to issue them virtual debit cards and to open them account behind that card. 3 million people, 300,000 already registered users. For now, they have some basic functionalities within the Revuto app. We are not updating app or releasing any major updates before we get listed on centralized exchanges. Everybody's waiting for this. When listing, so we are working really hard on this because we don't want to be listed on some low tier exchanges, and you're going to be soon amazed with what we did regarding this. I know that everybody's expecting this and waiting for this. It's been a long time, but only because we are only trying to work with really amazing companies and with amazing partners, not with just low tier exchanges and unimportant companies or partners. But just by seeing these numbers, you can expect that, the user base, this number is gonna go up, is gonna grow, and the buying pressure on the REVU token is gonna go up. Now, within our app, we already have our own crypto wallet, which is built on Cardano, and we released tokens to our investors on those wallets, on those addresses, because we wanted to keep them safe and not to lose their money. But all those setups that I explained about the staking and everything, all those is going to be available within our crypto wallet, which is, by the way, amazing. At the moment, that's like a non-custodial wallet, so your funds are safe. Within our crypto wallet, we're going to have custodial wallet as well, because that's also mandatory to be able to set up with the cashback and rewards to work in fully potential. And yeah, that's it. You can expect some really amazing things later. No, I won't say later in the year because this year is already ending, but at the beginning of the next year. Yeah, that's it. And I'm gonna now ask Josipa, call Josipa to tell you some final words about Revuto.
Thank you. Back to me again. I have a couple of closing remarks. So we'll be going through some of these topics. The first one is our R fund. As you heard previously from Vedran, it's a 2 million pre-ICO fund where we want to be the first ticket before you do an initial coin offering. The purpose of the R fund is to provide you not only the funds, but also the operational experience and the hands-on and advisory role that we can provide to make sure you have not only the best ICO possible, but that you also use it to hire a team, acquire users, and really position yourself within the market. As I said, and as Vedran explained, it's a 2 million actually pool, not specifically a fund, it's an investment pool. And we would encourage you all to apply today at crypto.revuto.com/R fund. You can find a very short type form where you can apply with your project. And even if you don't have the full idea detailed out, you can apply today and receive feedback from our dedicated team. So that's a bit about the R fund. Now, the second topic is our team. We currently have 40 amazing people working on this project, and they're working alongside our CEO, our CTO, and some of the team members you probably haven't even had the chance to meet. What's interesting about Revuto is that we have a remote first company culture. So wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing, if you want to join us, we would encourage you to ping us at info@revuto.com and to send over more information if you want to work, for example, in our community management team, which is a very dynamic, very distributed team, or if you want to, for example, work on the support team or on the product or engineering side. So again, we would encourage you to apply both of your projects on the R fund, and also if you want to join us individually to work on Revuto at info@revuto.com. Third topic is our marketing and our differentiation. So obviously being a consumer company, the marketing component is incredibly important. So although we can't say a lot of details right now, what we can say is that there'll be a very exciting roadmap, especially in terms of our product promotion in the coming year. We think our two biggest markets are quite interesting. They are overlapping, but they also can function individually. And one would be the market of consumers that are purely interested in managing their subscriptions, while the other is the market that's also interested in the cryptocurrency element of it, that are interested in staking, that are interested in micro-lending and borrowing. So our markets are really big. And that brings me to the following point, which is that we have a unique position where one of the biggest problems with DeFi at the moment is the unfriendly user experience. So we all used MetaMask, we all know how some of these tools are not mobile first, they're not user friendly. An incredible advantage of Revuto is that it provides a neobank-like experience. So it's extremely simple and easy to use, it's intuitive, it's native, it's mobile first, but it provides a Web3 product. So it's essentially a Web2 user experience, but offering a Web3 product and all of the benefits that Web3 brings to us. And that's also leading me to my last point, and also the most interesting point, which is that Revuto as a product is not dependent on the sentiment of the crypto market or the cryptocurrency investment market, if you will. What's happening is that we have a fintech component and we also have a cryptocurrency component. Our fintech component is primarily focused on issuing virtual debit cards and allowing you to manage your subscriptions. So even if the market goes into a bear market, we actually are not afraid that our product will still have growing numbers, will still have incredible adoption rates, and we can still move forward with our roadmap without any hesitation or any fear that we've entered a bear market. The reason why that is because of this fintech and crypto part, we actually have two different customer segments. So we actually look at us at dealing with a customer base where we will be the first point of contact for cryptocurrencies for them. So we know for a fact that there are people in the user base of our product that have never touched anything related to cryptocurrencies. They never bought one, they never invested, and we will be the first point of contact. So Revuto will be the product driving crypto adoption. And we think that entire position is very exciting, not only from a growth standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, but also just to be an evangelist of this industry and to spread the awareness of, we can build products that are a neobank type experience, but that actually offer all the benefits of the Web3 and crypto products that we love. So I would like to invite my co-founders to join me in closing remarks. Vedran, Marko. So thank you very much for joining us on this session. It's been a pleasure to give you an overview of where we are and what's happening so far. We would like to thank you for all of the support you've shown till today. Please be patient, the best is yet to come. And we would like to take this opportunity to announce our listing.
Yeah, and because of the listing is gonna happen soon, so I would advise everybody who believes in us to support us and to get into REVU token as early as possible, because those guys are gonna probably benefit the most from holding REVU.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.